The kinsman redeemer. Boaz and Ruth, as a type of Christ and his church. The beautiful narrative of Ruth and Boaz stands as one of Scripture's most profound illustrations of redemption, love, and divine providence. Within this ancient Hebrew story lies a rich tapestry of typological imagery that points forward to the ultimate redemption accomplished by Jesus Christ for his bride, the church. The concept of the kinsman redeemer, or Goel in Hebrew, provides a powerful framework for understanding how Christ's sacrificial love mirrors Boaz's redemptive actions toward Ruth. The story unfolds during the time of the Judges, a period marked by moral darkness and spiritual decline in Israel. Into this setting comes Naomi, a widow returning from Moab with her Moabite daughter-in-law Ruth. Both women face destitution, vulnerability, and the harsh realities of ancient Near Eastern society where women without male protection struggled to survive. The law of Moses, however, provided a beautiful provision through the institution of the kinsman redeemer, close relative, who could restore lost inheritance and provide protection for vulnerable family members. Boaz emerges as a man of integrity, wealth, and compassion, qualities that make him an ideal type of Christ as our Redeemer. When Ruth gleans in his fields, Boaz notices her immediately and extends extraordinary kindness. His character reveals several Christ-like attributes. He shows mercy to the outcast, provides sustenance for the hungry, and offers protection to the vulnerable. Most significantly, Boaz willingly takes on the role of kinsman redeemer, despite the cost and complexity involved. The Hebrew word goel encompasses not only the right to redeem, but also the responsibility to restore what was lost. Boaz's willingness to redeem Ruth's family inheritance mirrors Christ's willing sacrifice to redeem humanity from sin's bondage. Just as Boaz had both the right, being a relative, and the resources, being wealthy, to redeem, Christ alone possessed both the right, being truly human, and the power, being truly God, to redeem fallen humanity. Ruth represents the church in this beautiful typology. As a Moabite, she was a Gentile outsider who chose to abandon her pagan heritage and embrace the God of Israel. Her famous declaration to Naomi, "Your people shall be my people, and your God my God," echoes the heart of every believer who turns from darkness to light. Ruth's faithfulness, humility, and devotion to her mother-in-law demonstrate the character that should mark Christ's bride. Ruth's gleaning in Boaz's field parallels how the church finds sustenance in Christ's provision. She worked diligently, but depended entirely on the landowner's generosity for her survival. Similarly, believers work faithfully but depend completely on Christ's grace for spiritual sustenance and eternal security. Ruth's position as a gleaner gathering the leftovers after the harvest reflects humanity's humble position before God, receiving his abundant mercy. The pivotal scene at the threshing floor reveals the depth of Ruth's faith in Boaz's character. Acting on Naomi's counsel, Ruth approaches Boaz at night, requesting that he spread his covering over Hera's symbolic appeal for marriage and protection. This vulnerable act of faith demonstrates Ruth's complete trust in Boaz's integrity and her willingness to submit to his authority. This scene beautifully prefigures the church's relationship with Christ. Just as Ruth approached Boaz in humility and faith, the church comes to Christ acknowledging her need for covering and protection. Boaz's response honoring Ruth's request, while maintaining moral integrity, reflects Christ's perfect response to those who seek him. The covering Boaz provides symbolizes the righteousness Christ provides for his bride. The legal proceedings at the city gate demonstrate the complexity and costliness of redemption. Another relative initially shows interest in redeeming Naomi's land, but withdraws when he learns that marriage to Ruth is part of the obligation. Boaz willingly accepts both the cost and the responsibility, publicly declaring his commitment to redeem the inheritance and marry Ruth. This public declaration parallels Christ's open identification with his people. Just as Boaz publicly claimed Ruth as his bride before witnesses, Christ openly declares his love for the church. The costliness of redemption, Boaz risking his own inheritance, points to the ultimate cost Christ paid on the cross. The joy of their union prefigures the eternal joy of Christ's marriage to his bride. The marriage of Boaz and Ruth produces offspring who become part of the messianic line, ultimately leading to King David and Jesus Christ. Their union bears fruit that extends far beyond their immediate family, blessing all nations. This fruitfulness illustrates the spiritual fruitfulness that results from Christ's union with his church. The genealogy connecting Ruth to David, and ultimately to Jesus, demonstrates God's sovereign plan working through human love and redemption. What began as a story of loss and destitution becomes a crucial link in salvation history. Similarly, Christ's redemption of the church will ultimately result in eternal fruitfulness and the blessing of all nations.